Today on Cherry Pickin', we try to revive this 1977 Ford F250 Crew Cab and try to answer the age-old question, will it run? That's right, today we are working on this 77 Ford F250 Crew Cab, which means it's a short bed, and we try to revive it and see if it'll run and drive out from where it's been sitting for the past 20 years. And then we'll see if we can clean it up a little bit and make it a little bit more of a driver. Now, this truck has actually been sitting in this exact same spot since I believe about 2005, 2006, maybe a little bit later than that, but it's been about 20 years that it's been sitting right here. And it ran and drove into this spot back then, but it's been sitting. And as you know, when cars sit, bad stuff happens internally. So we're gonna see if we can get it running and driving. This is here on my parents' property. This is my dad's truck. It's been in the backyard for this long, and it's been in this corner, which has very little access in the front and very little on the passenger side. Luckily, we don't need to get on that side anytime soon. As you can see, there's a tree growing on one side, and I actually discovered there's even another tree starting to grow right underneath it. So we're gonna hopefully save this guy and pull him out before any more damage gets done to the underneath of that body. In fact, this tree started growing kind of about the time that this truck was parked, and well, it's about 15 years old, maybe a little bit less. You know, I'm not exactly a horticulturist or an arborist or another ist, but it's gotten a lot bigger recently, so we're gonna move it out of here before it does any more damage. Now, as you can see, this thing is a little low in the front. The rears, actually, we did replace recently. We actually took the old super singles off of it, sold it to a guy, you know, selling parts off your good running vehicles. That's what you do around here. And you can't really see, but there's actually a bed toolbox in this thing. Who cares? But this is the desirable four-door flavor. That's right, this is a crew cab. It is a real crew cab. It is a 77, and it's titled as a 77. However, it does have a 78.9 front end because my dad liked putting those front ends on the earlier trucks because he thinks they look better. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like the earlier 75, 6, 7 front ends, or do you like the 78, 79? Leave a comment down below. You know that helps. Now, this thing currently has a 460 and a C6 in it, and well, like I said, it should run. It ran and drove when it parked here back in 2000 whatever. But it's been sitting for so long, so we're going to take a look at it. I did actually steal the radiator out of it to put that radiator in my truck, which you may have seen a few videos back when I did the intake swap. We put a super cooler radiator in my 67 F250. Check that out. So the very first thing I need to do is put a radiator in it, as well as fix a line that I kind of broke off, one of the trans cooler lines. But before we do that, let's take a look around this thing and see what we got. We'll go ahead and take a peek on this thing, and we'll start here inside. And ooh, well, it's got a little spider webbage right about there. No door panel because there's like a stack sitting there, although there is door panels in the back, and well, look to be pretty good seats, minus that. Got the sport steering wheel on this guy. Has that on all of his 70s dent-side trucks. What's the mileage look like in here? Looks like 27,297. That's probably 120,000, although honestly, I think it'd be 100. I don't think it's any more than that. This thing has almost no rust in it in the roof. As you can see, there's a little bit right there that's been creeping in. But other than that, bottom of the door's pretty good. You can't even see with this tree here. Bottom of the cab corner's pretty good. Let's see the bottom of this door. Also pretty good. Now, I know for a fact this was a desert truck. It actually came from an Air Force base. And as you can tell, it's white on the outside. But on the inside, this thing is actually Astra or Astral blue. I don't remember exactly which word it is. Could be Astro. This is actually the Air Force service color from back in the day. This was actually an Air Force truck. And it's got some leftovers from when it was a fleet vehicle that was used. Got a radio delete in there, stuff like that. It's got some extra parts. But this truck was actually bought back in the days of junkyards when you could buy whole vehicles for pretty cheap. And if I remember correctly, he bought it for less than he would have paid for just the cab and the doors, which is what he originally wanted to buy. And I think the guy at the junkyard sold it to him for basically the price that the cab and doors were going to be. So he bought the whole truck, and it's been sitting here ever since. Now, the reason that it wasn't running driving on the road is because it needed a brake and a light certificate because it came from a junkyard. And, well, I don't remember exactly what the details were, but he couldn't get the title until he got those things, and he couldn't get those things until he could get a smog certificate. And this thing has a 460 in it, which from the factory it was actually a 360 truck, so it didn't have, or was it 360 truck, 390? I don't know. It's not the right motor, so would never pass smog here in California. We're probably going to fix that, get this thing up and running and revived, and hopefully get to use it for a little while until we decide to sell it, or someone offers us a bunch of money for it. Who knows? You know, crew cabs are pretty popular. I think the market's dipping just a little bit on them right now, especially on dense sides and two-wheel drives, but still, can't deny people want crew cabs. And we'll go ahead and go over here and open the rear door, and actually these doors open and close really nice. Now this door panel's seen better days, but still got the pull handle right here. I don't know if that's original or not, but kind of looks like it, although lots of people put those on their trucks. And these are crew cab only door panels, and they're probably a lot harder to come by than anything else nowadays. This actually looks like a 67 window crank, kind of funny. And you see more of that blue in there, and well, this seat's been worn in a little bit, and there's some more stuff down there. I'm pretty sure that's a radio of some sort, and there's some trim pieces and other stuff, and it's got a headliner. But the important stuff's all here. Let's check the bed. Door shuts nice. It does have a cap for the factory dual filler. It actually does have one in the cab right there. So there's the cab tank. And on a short bed, that's where you'd fill up on the side if it had one. It's got a different color tailgate on it. You know, they all do. And as you can see in the bed, we've got some more trim pieces. There's some engine parts, a sway bar in here, apparently a Red Bull can. And, you know, really it's not too much in here. I know there's some wood down there. And then if we come on this side, well, there's some more foliage growing down the sides. And I'm excited to see what this side looks like once we get it out. But the body overall on this thing is extremely clean. And being a Southern California desert truck, there's virtually no rust anywhere. And to be honest, from what I can tell, I don't see any dents anywhere. So this thing's going to clean up real nice. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood, and then we'll get working on it. All right, and like I said, I've already had this thing popped recently, but you'll see it's definitely hasn't been touched in a while. And yes, I have to grease those hinges. All right, that's all it opens apparently. Well, it's dirty, but it's there. Come on, take a look. This is a look inside one of the nastiest looking engine bays I've had to deal with yet. Luckily, it's not piled with stuff. It's just, well, more cobwebs than I've ever seen on basically any vehicle. You can't even see, but it just goes and goes and goes and goes. There are millions of cobwebs all around this thing. There's tons of mouse poop and foliage waste and compost covering this thing. It's sat under these pine trees over here, so full of pine needles and other things. And the ground I'm standing on is actually about 3 inches thick, just full of pine needles. But that's the 460. It looks to be complete. I have no idea how well it ran. Although, let's take this guy's. Oh, there's a, yeah, it looks actually really clean under there, so we might get lucky. Might be able to just do a little rebuild, you know what I'm saying? But first things first, we have got to put this radiator in, and I have to fix, I don't know if you'll be able to see it down there. One of the transmission lines way down there, you probably can't even see it, but it's somewhere about right there. It's basically twisted off, and so I got to put a new fitting on it. I've got a tool, hopefully we can make fittings and get it on here. In fact, there's the old fitting that I twisted off. As you can see, I just took out the fitting out of the radiator and twisted off the line. Didn't realize I was doing this, couldn't see very well, so we're gonna fix that. Now, the very first thing all right, well, it had no dents. I don't know where that stick hit, but it definitely hit something. Very first thing that we're gonna do actually is try to put some air in these tires. I can't even really reach the other side, but because the front, a little bit low on air, we'll say, it's sagging really, really hard down in the front. So we're just gonna give it a little bit of air, hopefully lift the front up so I can get underneath there, because those transmission lines are hard lines and I don't wanna do it from up top because I'm lazy. So we're gonna get underneath it. But to do that, we're gonna take our little air inflator, Remington 875 16.5. Yeah, this thing is 16.5s on them. The super singles that were on the back were also 16.5s, but they're super singles, which is why we sold them. Got to get your money's worth out of these things, you know? That's what we like doing here, is taking perfectly good, complete vehicles and making them not. You know what I'm saying? Now it's got 5 pounds of pressure. That's pretty good. Let's see if it takes 30. And we'll let this go. Now, if this was a manual truck, wouldn't really care about putting the radiator in and doing all that, because it wouldn't matter if I only ran it for a few minutes, because we're not worried about cooling. But being that it's an automatic and it's got a transmission cooler lines, I don't want to pump all the fluid out of the transmission, you know, before we get it moved and burn up the transmission. So now I'm going to go under there and, well, hopefully fix the line, so come on down. Alright, we're going to see if we can do this. Luckily there's quite a bit of room still from this line, and we're actually going to go ahead and cut. First thing we're going to do is cut this off in a clean spot that isn't bent. Oh, I'm already dripping. Alright, and a bunch more fluid came out. This is going to be fun. Alright, we're going to take our brake bender, because I need to put a 90 in it. Oop. Alright, there's a 90. We are dripping everywhere, but we will put our fitting on. Okay. Alright, that seems good actually. And now we just tighten that back up. And then we just flare it with the single flare section. And I don't love it, but hopefully it seals enough. So we're gonna call that good. Better than it was. Now I will say I'm not entirely happy with that flare. It's definitely not the best, but it should do fine enough. It should hold enough until we can at least get it out. But we're gonna go ahead and take our radiator, which is out of my 67, and we're just gonna carefully drop it down on in there. Tighten those puppies up. Hook our hoses back up, connect those transmission lines, and then we'll move on to, well, we'll put a battery in it and throw some gas in it. So let me get these on and I'll see them when we're putting a battery in it. Well, unfortunately, I thought I was going to hook up both those transmission lines, but kind of forgot that I plugged one with a pencil, and the pencil broke off, and so it's kind of stuck in the line. So what we're going to do is swap out the battery, turn the engine over, and hope that the transmission can force that piece of pencil out and pop it out of there. Hopefully it builds the pressure to, because it does slide in and out of there. It's just, you can't get pliers in there. So let's change the battery, which that's not even really on there. Good core. Didn't even know this was here. I always take a core. Oh boy, it's heavy. Ever start. Of course, we got our good old heavy duty Optima, which is gonna want to go this way. It don't fit there great, but that's a little better. All right, go ahead and throw that on. That don't fit. And throw that on. That also don't fit. And it doesn't have a bolt, so we're gonna hope that's enough to turn this guy over. Oh, you're overheating. Let's turn it over. All right, we're gonna turn her over and see if she pops that pencil out. We may actually have to get her running first before, but let's see if it turns over. Well, she turns over fine. So that's good. Don't have to do a starter. Did she pop the pencil out? It doesn't look like it. So let's throw some gas in her. Did just have the terrifying realization that that could actually be on the suck side instead of the push side of the transmission. So that's cool. We're gonna get all that crap off and take this lid off, which we totally won't forget about. And then we'll just grab a little gas bottle, and I'll start by trying to fill the vents here. Of course, that's not going to work. Oh yeah, perfect stream. All right, that should be enough to start it. So let's see if it turns over and let's see if it fires. This should be easy. Contact. Well, it turned over. Probably got to give it some throttle. Well, wants more gas. She's thirsty. Just give her some more in there, you know, get that 150 shot. Fire in the hole. Well, starter's a little funky. Well, fire's fine, but not getting enough gas. Let's try that again. Anything come out? Doesn't look like it. You know what it's doing? It's definitely doing that whole power on the key, but no power once the key's back to normal. Let's see, are these getting hot? I don't think they're getting too hot. So I'm going to check. That should be our starter. That should be power to the coil. Don't even know what that is. All right, what is up with that? Why do we have key on power but not key? Why do we have crank power but not key on power? Let's work on that. All right, well, I'm going to temporarily hook up power to the coil using this little spout connector looking thing, and see if that fixes our issue and gets it to run, because it's acting like it's not getting power with key on. give it some more gas. I don't know if it's picking up fuel yet. Definitely likes choke closed, or throttle plates closed. All right, I need to get a remote starter because I can't keep going back and forth to the key and try to give it gas. So let's get a starter. All right, key is on. That should have power. Put a little gas and got a trigger. Let's see if it starts. Oh. Let's see if this thing came back to life. All right. All right, can we take this off now, please? What is this, bolted down? Bro, what on earth? Oh, no, just very tight. Oh, that thing is nasty. All right. Oh, great. Another one of these Motorcraft carbs. Not a huge fan of these. Let's see if it... You know what I didn't do that I just thought about? Which, oh, that thing's pouring now. I kind of forgot. That was the whole point. Let's hook up that hose. I think it's good. Anyways, what I was saying before I so rudely interrupted myself is that I didn't even check oil on the thing. So it's kind of a good thing we didn't go much further. Although it looks like we do have oil. Check that again. All right. Maybe not. Try this one more time. Cool. Is there another dipstick I don't know about? Because there's no oil in this thing. Am I crazy? This thing doesn't need oil in it. It's at least 2 quarts low. Now, why would it be that low? There's no visible leaks on the bottom side. Is this a passenger car dipstick? Yep, D4TE. There are no other dipsticks on this thing? Because, that's frightening. Well, I'm going to go get some oil real quick. Alright, now on the dipstick, it's got a spot for adding 2 quarts, add 1 quart and safe. I've gotten 1.5 quarts of SAE 30 weight motor oil, and then half a quart of, well, I'm not sure exactly because there's no label on it, but it looks like oil. Kind of smells like oil. So should be fine, but we'll put the other 2 in first, you know, just to be safe. And this thing's going to get an oil change anyway, so it'll be fine. But we'll throw this guy in. Nice little easy fill right there. Still not sure why it's not full of oil, because there's no oil anywhere else. The pan is completely clean. In fact, it looks brand new even, some might say. Just let that sit in there. So, mysteries, you know, when you're working on old cars, lots of mysteries. Now, I did open up the tank and took a whiff of that, and well, tell you what, probably should cut the fuel line, because sure does smell. We'll worry about that later. It's probably about good. Yep, just let it drop over everything else, clean it up and lubricate it, you know. Resale value. Makes it look nice. Let's just add this other half. Oh, okay. Maybe a quarter of a quart in there. Got about a quarter all over the valve cover and frame rail and power steering lines. Anyways, we'll check the dipstick now after this. Come on, buddy. It's good for your bones. All right, let's check this now. Oh, I'm seeing a little bit on there. You got to give it time to, you know, all sink down. We'll just wait a sec. All right, on the stick. Definitely needs more. And I don't even know if I have enough oil lying around, because this is really all I got. Guess I shouldn't have spilled that quarter of a quart, whatever it is. Now this stuff looks kind of thick. I think it'll be good for it though. There's a small chance that that's like 70 weight. A small chance. It's probably 20-50. You know, but we'll never know. We'll just put some more in there and, you know, it'll dilute it up, act like some stabilizer with some thicker oil. Yeah, it's not that thick. Yeah, that's got to be about 20-50, maybe 30-50 if we're lucky. Don't even know if they make 30-50. We'll let that sit for a sec. Probably need to find some more oil or something to put in her. But check the dipstick now. And it's at the just under add 2 quarts. Doesn't smell like gas, which is a good thing. All right, almost. There it is. Oh, stuck on my finger there. All right, I gotta go find more oil because yeah, I'm at to add 2 quarts, and 2 quarts is kind of the limit, you know. You can run these pretty dry, but 2 quarts is a lot, so we're gonna go find some more oil real quick. All right, well, I got about a quart and a half more full of oil, and I will say, not my proudest moment. And the oil, well, we'll just say, you know, tell you what, you don't ask where it came from, I won't tell. Sounds good? All right. Let's hook this back up now that we have a full oil pan. And now let's see what happens. This carb is gonna fight me. Oh, it might help if I turn the key on, actually. Try again. Got to figure out what the dealio is with that one. What's going on here? It was just running and now it doesn't wanna? What in the world? Yeah, wire's still good. All right, let's see if it'll light off on the key again. Oh, now it works. All right, we've still got the key on issue, but the question is, putting power directly to the coil, why is it not getting power? All right, we were getting power to the coil, now we're not. All right, I don't know what I did, if I did anything, but let's put some gas in it. Make sure the key's on. Although this thing should run just fine. Well, that won't help when you break the end off your cord. All right, I gotta go find a jumper or something to hot wire the coil, because for some reason the Durspark box is not giving us power. I don't know what I did, but it's running. Well, I was just messing with it, and all of a sudden I got power to the coil again. Don't know how that happened. It's not running good, but it's idling at like 400 RPM, 300, 350 maybe. All right, that's my fault. Accelerator pump has nothing. Let's see if it'll start up again. Well, there it is. Definitely smells funny and running funny. Yeah, it's definitely barely running. I'm gonna have to do a little rebuild on that carb, but it's getting late, sun's going down, so we're going to pack it in and see it in the morning, call this a win, and hopefully tomorrow morning we'll drag the sucker out, or drive it under its own power, because there's no way I'm pulling something back here. You should see how tight it is. Alright, well, got it fixed up real quick, but we'll show you that in a second. First, I got to get this tree out of the way. It is a bit too grown up. Where did I put my gloves? There they are. A bit too grown up to stay there, and got to get this truck out, so it's gonna have to come down. It's probably 11, I think, is what we dated it at, and it's actually part of another tree that's on the other side. They kind of just seem to conglomerate, but for right now we're just gonna whip her down real quick. Timber! Alright, we'll actually trim that down a little bit later. Whoa! It's a lot brighter over here now. But sometimes you gotta, trim the bush every once in a while. I'm gonna have to clear that stump a little bit later after I get the truck out and take a shovel and dig it out. This rear end's not really in the way, so man, I don't think this side of the truck's seen light for a few years over here. But, well, let me show you what we did. All right. Let's get in here. It's the next day. We're gonna take our lid back off. And here we are, and it smells like gas. Now, luckily, this thing leaks oil, but not from where you'd expect it, at least not from where I'd expect it. Found out why there's no oil in it yesterday. After I got it done running, I checked my trans lines, made sure they weren't leaking. They don't look like they are. But the oil cooler, fitting at the oil cooler is leaking, so it's up here in the front. I got to tighten that. Not a huge deal. Hopefully Hopefully it's just the fitting. I'm actually gonna have to get this thing running to check if it is. So we'll go ahead and plug our battery back in this morning. And magically, it fixed itself yesterday with the power key on. So yeah, I guess let's see if it'll start up. Go ahead and fill the carburetor just a little bit. Nope. Take those tools out. Set them in here. Come over here. Hook up our jumper. Whew. It smells. I gotta see why this thing is leaking oil though. Let's see if I can see it from here. Give it a little bit. Yeah, this key on thing is gonna be annoying. All right, I hear it clicking on, which means it's got power. Oop, sorry, keep hitting ya. Battery's starting to die. We'll give it a sec. It's got power to the coil, so it should be firing. Of course. All right, let's try it the old-fashioned way again. See if it likes the key. This thing ain't liking anything now. Just rebuild the carburetor real quick. Don't know if there's any air bleeds that need to be cleaned out. What else am I missing? Just want to see if this oil leak is coming from the fitting itself or if the line is cracked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's cut this fuel line. I hope maybe the pump is, because it's starting to smell. I'm worried the pump is pulling from the tank, and the tank smells terrible. That's hard as a rock. Maybe we'll just undo it. Oh yeah. Ooh, some nasty gas in there. All right, is that pumping? Well, it's barely pumping out of the fuel pump, although it is actually pumping, but it is barely going. But I'm worried that it filled up our carb and flooded the engine. So we'll give it a minute to dry out, and then we'll see if we can get it started. All right, let's try this again. Well, what in the world? It was working a second ago. All right, our mystery key on issue has come back. I need more gas. Why are we all of a sudden doing this again? All right, we're back to where we were. Let's see if I can get it running long enough to fix itself again. All right. Let's wiggle this one again. I'll try it again. Nope. Still key on ignition. Always issues. All right, I gotta get another jumper. All right, we're gonna go ahead and give power directly to the coil again, this time with a non-broken jumper wire. A little bit longer too. Water pump is not happy. And it's still getting nothing. What is going on here? What are you? Well, what are you? Why have we got a fusible ground link? And what the hell was that? Why did the motor just move for no reason? What in the world? Hang on, I gotta figure this out. Basically what I went ahead and did is actually found another one of these Durspark harnesses, and we actually have it hooked directly into our distributor, and then I'm go ahead and I'm jumpering this wire right here that goes to the coil and running it directly off that. So if I take that and put it there, and I hook the battery back up, and we give it a little bit of gas, and we take our trigger and start it. It should start. Yep. And there it is, idling. So anyways, I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to work a little bit better. See if we can get it to idle just a little bit more. I really don't want to take this carb off back here. It is so tight. I am literally in as much space as possible. So we're gonna try to quickly back this thing out with what it's got. Back it out, get it around, and get it out front, because once it's out front, it's a lot easier to work on. We'll actually clean it up and then be able to work on it some more. So let's get it out. Okay, let's go ahead and fill up the bowls again as much as we can. Just spill it everywhere, you know. Hopefully that is enough to get it running and idling. All right, let's see if it'll stay idling for us. All right. Quickly try to move it. I'm gonna just say we're clear. We do have brake fluid, I did check that. Come on, baby. Whoop. It tried, try it again. It's got a little bit of a poppage, but you know, whew, it stinks. All right, try it again. Come on, baby. Woof. It does not like it one bit. And again, neither do I. Wants to move. I think the brakes are locked up a little bit, maybe. We'll see. I don't know if I'm losing a bunch of fluid. Am I losing a ton of fluid? Hope not. I also never actually checked the trans fluid after I dropped a ton of fluid. It's getting warm. Not fully warm, but warm enough. Let's try it again. Come on, baby. Just need to go straight back. Oh, it was in reverse. Try it again. Not having a key is real fun. Let's go forward, see if it goes forward a little bit. Nope. Yeah, I think the brakes are locked up. We just need a little more. Yeah, I think we're out of gas again. All right, just get me to back up. We only got to go like 100 feet. Woo! Big one that time. Something's burning. Ah, it's all the crap on it. Man, it does not like that. All right, it's getting warm. We're gonna have to put a pause and get some water. Okay, just filled up the radiator. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up our vent, or our bowls again. I think it's running a little lean. I don't entirely know. I guess they're way down there. I could richen up the idle screws. It actually almost seems like it's not running in all 8. But we'll try that. All right. All right, guess I'm getting a jumper. Now we got a jumper pack. It's just one thing after another after another. Got it running, got it starting to move, but then it didn't want to move, and now it's hot, and now it doesn't want to run. All right, now let's try. Come on. There we go. Oh, it stopped. Well, we got it moved. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a second and steal the crank handle off this back one, which is the only thing holding on. Poor, yep. But I'm gonna need it here at the front because I can't see, so. Yep, and this is a 67 crank, which is hilarious because 67 cranks are 1 year only, in case you didn't know, just like many other things. At least the regulator's good. Oh yeah. I'll just set that there, quick release. Make sure, oh yeah, that thing was deep in there. Whew, and that's covered in a lot of fluid. All right, put some more gas in it. All right, let's get this thing started again. All right, let's try this again. Guess that's all the carb holds. All right, we'll go ahead and close this up. I had to refill it. Get that a little close and see if it starts. All right, let's hope it makes it all the way. I can't see jack shit out of this. Well, power steering works. Oh yeah. I think a wheel's loose. Whoop. Then we ran out of gas. Perfect timing. All right, just make it over there. Come on, bro. Seriously? More gas. Just to make it 20 feet. All right, okay. This is it. That's all it needs to go. All right, shut it off. Things I do, man. First, ran out of gas. Got more gas. Then tried to start it up again. In the middle of the road. Battery's dead. So I had to go run and steal the battery out of my Mustang, which is about 60 feet that way. Maybe 100. Put that in. Still ran out of gas. Had to put more gas in. Went forward, stalled out, had to get out again, turn it on. Luckily I don't live on a busy street, but man, that sucks. It's over there now. Let's go over there and look at it. All right, well, we got it out, so we made it, at least to the hose. So let's go ahead and take a quick look around this thing so we can see its whole beauty. And then we'll go ahead and spray it down and pressure wash it and maybe even put some soap on it and clean it up a little bit so that we can actually make it better. Man, is the wind coming up. Let's take a look at this thing. Well, that oil cooler is for sure leaking. I don't know if you can see it in there. The fitting's kind of, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Right in there. Hey, you can't see it. The fitting's wet. Yeah, it looks pretty nasty in here. I'm gonna spend a while cleaning off all of this. And this is the side that was against the fence. Man, I've never even seen this side. You can actually see some of this Astra Blue, or Astral. Again, don't remember what it's called. I did realize that this is actually a 76. It's not a 77. So it is a 76. Unfortunately, if it was a 75, this thing would have already been running and driving 15 years ago. because 75 in California, you're allowed to drive around without smog. 76 is the first year that you have to smog vehicles. But as you can see, short bed. Of course, tailgate's the wrong color. Wish it was white. Might end up painting it at least to match. And well, this thing's pretty nasty, but we'll see how well it cleans up. I never even opened this side. It's locked. I'm gonna pull this mirror back out. There we go. Is this locked? Yep, apparently it is. Even got tinted windows. Has the Sun X bug in the car light window, which also means that that's the original glass. This truck is pretty bare bones because it was a fleet truck. No AC, no radio, heat controls, and actually rear seat heat, which is super rare. Let me show you that. So if we come in over here, you can actually see this is a heat control for front and rear heat. So there's actually a box underneath the rear seat over here. Somewhere under there, there's a whole heat system that adds heat for the rear, which is pretty sweet. It's a super rare option, but as you can see, radio delete, no air conditioning, just fresh air or hot air. There's not even a cutout or anything in there. This thing's pretty basic besides that heat. So anyways, let's go get this thing cleaned up. and we've got it cleaned up. Went ahead, sprayed the crap out of the engine bay, so hope there's no water anywhere. That's just black paint coming off, but looks good under here. You can actually see that original Astra blue underneath. It pretty much looks like Ford corporate, Ford dark blue, whatever you want to call it. And the hinges actually started to work better. Hood still needs work. I definitely need to scrub on this thing because it's still pretty rough. As you can see, this door was painted a different color. It is like refrigerator white gray primer-ish. This door got banged up. You can actually see underneath there. It's a little bit caved in on the rocker down there. I don't know if you can tell, probably in that angle. But this door was replaced at some point with a yellow door, and someone just sprayed it white, so it definitely is a shade off from the Wimbledon white that's on here. There's more of that Astra blue peeking through there and there. It's like a dark blue. Bed kind of looks the same. I pulled out just piles and piles of pine needles. Still haven't done the bed because it's full of parts, and I got to empty out the parts and sort through it all. And well, we won't worry about that right this second. And overall, this side was the good side. Still looks kind of the same. Of course, there's shadows, so you can't really tell. But it definitely looks better. Not going to complain about that. Looks a lot better. That hood needs some work still. Anyways, that's where we're going to end it off for today. We got this thing out, kind of running, kind of driving. Cleaned it up a little bit. It's gotten dirty again. Doesn't take long here, but we got it out, so now we can actually start to continue to work on this thing, rebuild the carburetor, put a fuel pump in it, whatever else we need to do. So we're gonna end it off here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it. Helps the channel a lot. And stay tuned because we've got a whole lot of So stay tuned because we've got a ton of other cars on this channel that are going to be out running, driving. We've got a lot of projects here at the Cherry Picking headquarters, so maybe you'll see them next time on Cherry Picking. See ya.